Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gents. Welcome to Glad You Made It. This is a So-So production. This year's my brother, Dylan.
Hello.
All right, sweet. We're doing what day is today?
Today is Thursday the 11th?
The 11th. 11th of March?
Yes.
2021, man. We're doing it.
We're here.
I promised you guys we have a special guest, and here he is, man. He's in the house. He's in the studio, and thank you for coming, man. Today is...
Thanks for having me. This is the first time I've been on somebody's show, so it's a new opportunity.
I'm very excited. Thank you so much. I'm very excited, and it's a first for all of us, you guys. It's a first for me too. It's a first for you guys. So this is
cheers.
Cheers
to the ongoing creative endeavors
and adventures. Beautiful.
It's nice to have we can kind of like watch ourselves drink.
It is nice. It's definitely helpful. Definitely helpful. What have you guys been up to? It's I know a lot of crazy stuff's always going down, but we gotta find that sweet balance, right?
Yeah,
find that silver lining.
Yeah, playbook. No, definitely. It's been It's been 12 months since we started coronaing, or
yeah, the schmovit. It's been 12 months now.
Wow.
It's rough out there, but there is still like I found this year to be again a year of kind of getting a chance to like look inwards and do an inventory, if that makes sense. I don't know how to.
No.
Is that something you've?
Definitely. This it's been a real opportunity forced opportunity to reflect.
Definitely.
Right? It's like it's kind of like up until the quarantine COVID stuff, there was a big symphony playing, and then the symphony stopped. And then what I was left with, or what we were all left with, was a memory of what that symphony sounded like.
Right.
The good parts and the bad parts.
100%.
So you start thinking about like, oh yeah, that tuba solo was really cool. Oh yeah, but that flute solo kind of sucked. Oh, and maybe like, did I do something to the flautist to make them mess up their flute solo?
100%.
And then you like talk to the person, and then turns out there was nothing, and then it was all in your head. Yeah, how about you? Have you found yourself taking like more of an inventory than
It didn't start off that way. I wasn't, to be honest with you, when it all started like 12 months ago, I didn't know what to make of it. I thought it's going to be another version of like SARS. I thought it's going to be like a quick in and out. I was going about for 2-3, I was just like renegading things. Just do I think at that time, I was still like, part-time driving with like Uber.
Yeah. Still
going to work every day, doing my things, but I thought, we're going to get over it really quickly.
Yeah. I shared that opinion in the beginning.
Afterwards, it definitely led to a lot of contemplation of and like, I think for the most part, you and I guess we've known each other before, peeps out there, like, I would say, I think for all you guys, I think we've shared a lot of stories to you guys. I think for an aspect of me, I'm a very introspective person. I think for the most part, Dylan's very introspective as well. Yeah. So, after the initial realization that, no, this is not a short-term thing, there was definitely, I had to sit down with myself and do a large inventory and see where I'm going, where I'm at.
Yeah. And like, I don't know about you, but now that I've been taking this inventory, I kind of don't know what to do with it. It's like, great, so I've reflected a whole bunch.
Right.
And I can't complain too much. Like, even though things have gone poorly the past 12 months, I still have a place to live.
Correct.
I still have food every day.
Yes.
So like, those parts are great. Those are really, really great.
Blessings, though, yeah.
Yeah, but the other stuff of like, I don't really see people from my job, because I was in a job that required a lot of moving around.
Correct.
And seeing people in person. That's been weird to not have anymore.
That must be... It must be, it's definitely tough. It's not easy. I know before that, when I was in when I was working with other people and like having to move to doing something a little bit more isolated, so that definitely you do feel that maybe there's a gap between like social connections.
Yeah.
And this just made that, like, it exacerbated that for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you felt that for the past 12 months, just like everybody else out there. It's been...
humbling.
It's been humbling.
It's been, frick. So it's cool to be on your show. I really like the painting and the lights and stuff.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's
pretty sweet.
it's an ongoing project. It's been an ongoing project, and you know I've had some initial thoughts for so long now, and little by little things I guess started to make. And again, like I've mentioned this on the show before. I've mentioned this to yourself and you've definitely helped me out. You're one of those people that's definitely helped me out, and like maybe helping ignite something, or maybe, you know, just encouraging me to go after certain things, and it's really helped me out. So and this is a portion of it. This is a result of that. So thank you for it. And why I'm mentioning that is because I don't want anybody out there to think anything's done individually. That we
That's
are
true.
all a collective. Like,
That's true. Yeah.
and even if this didn't, like, I value friendships now more than ever, like good friendships, and yeah, man, thank you.
No problem. Like I'm happy to give paint to an artist. Like it's my pleasure.
I appreciate it. Thank you. But Dylan's in, like, I don't know how to, if I were to, I have a difficult time sometimes if I were to like want to describe what kind of a person.
Me too.
I can tell you he's very kind-hearted. I can tell you he's an artist, I would say, and he's been creating for so long, doing different. But maybe I should let you
Sure. Yeah.
say something about, like, or whatever you like to do, because it's hard for me to even articulate.
No,
like,
same. Like, so I went to the dentist like 2 weeks ago, and they're like, you know, working on my mouth and asking like, so what do you do? And I was like, like I never know how to answer that.
Right.
The easy answer is like artist, designer,
Correct.
technical guy.
Right.
I like to make stuff.
He's a creative person.
So,
He's always making stuff.
yeah, sometimes good stuff, sometimes not so good stuff. Sometimes I'm making a tummy ache for myself, right? Like I'm busy. My canvas is a whole pizza, and the art that I make is pain in my stomach. But yeah,
I feel it. No, I love that, because like I know you are very like self-aware and like very critical of your, but like thank you again for coming here and like sharing your time with us today, and like he's been very encouraging for me, and he's out there doing, he's been like, where can people find you if they want to like check out anything, if that's something that you'd like to put out?
Yeah. I've got an Instagram.
Beautiful.
It's called dmfunk, as in funky music. It's basically where I put like art, like music and videos that I like, and I kind of smush them together.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I do stuff like that. I do other stuff that I don't put my name on.
Yeah, the thing with you is you do a lot and you don't give yourself enough credit, man.
Well, but that's part of the game.
Which I love.
That's part of the game.
Like,
it's like if I don't put my stamp on everything, like it's kind of cool for me, because like I don't have to like stand behind everything because I didn't stamp it.
No.
But like more broadly, it's cool for like an audience who they don't necessarily know if it's me who did it, but if over time, if you kind of get to know the flavor, then you can be like, oh, this feels like a Dylan thing.
And I love that about you, man, because I think what you do is you put it out there, and I think people like gravitate towards you, and I think it's nice that you don't, part of it, I guess, not labeling certain things maybe, or like it's just that you leave it up to the people to decide what they'll make of it, and your stuff's really cool, man. Thank you. Dylan's been helping me quite a bit, and hopefully you guys will get to see a portion of a little bit of his magic that he'll, because he's my wizard, man. He's my magical wizard, and that's he's very capable, and thank you very much, man. It's a blessing, and it's a journey. That's the thing, I think. With everything going on, we've been making lemonade, I guess, in a sense. That's what I tell myself.
Oh, definitely. No, there's been a huge lemon harvest, dude. You're
a lot of tears and a lot of lemonade.
Yeah, it's like an onion lemonade. It's a weird lemonade.
Yeah. Well, we're trying, dude. We're trying. But that's
definitely. Well, and again, thank you for bigging me up in a nice way, and I'll say to your viewing public that like. The show, you make the show. You're the one putting in the effort and the time. All I did was say, I think you can do something, because I think you can.
Thank you.
And I know you can. So.
No, I appreciate that, man. It's nice to hear it, and like
Yeah, dude.
a portion of that, like for me, a portion of wanting to make something is, again, I would like to hopefully be like yourself and like many other people who are doing so many creative things, just be a little bit of, I guess, a voice of some sort of assurance or reassurance for somebody else out there, to be like, it's okay to take a chance, it's okay to do something. And
definitely. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
Exactly. You got to take risks, and talked about this before on the show. I mean, I didn't really like, and I think it takes a while for you to accumulate those pieces of the puzzle. Sometimes you might even have some of it and not know where to put it, or
definitely.
But all in all, like, I think if you're patient with yourself, I think that'll help. And I think that's
the one I'm still working on.
Every day it's a practice for me.
Yeah.
I gotta remind myself to be patient and not get sucked into, because there's so much information we consume, there's so much to keep up with, and it can get overwhelming sometimes. And you want changes quickly, right? I know I'm like seeing this, that, the other, I'm like...
Yeah, I want that instant gratification.
100%.
Like, our world got shut down with such quickness, and I'm hoping for the same quickness on the exit, where you wake up one day and it's like, good news!
Wow.
Corona wiped out by sunshine, or fuck, I don't know.
I didn't even think of that.
Wouldn't that be so cool? But like, we wake up every morning waiting for the good news, and it never comes. So we're all just like, oh, I guess I'll read about another scandal, or whatever.
Right. It's so true, but I've never thought about it that way, right? Because it's been so long now. I'm like, yeah, maybe one day we might get up and it'll all be over.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
That'd be wonderful. It could. Fingers crossed. Or something, dude. It's been, I would like our freedoms to be back. Yeah. And be protected. It's important. Yeah. And this has been a privilege, and it's been, so thank you guys again for all your support out there. Whoever comes in and watches, man, we're a small little family, but it's snowballing, man. Thank you for all the love and support.
Yeah, that's how these things go, right? Yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day.
No, it certainly wasn't.
And there's a myth in our, it seems like there's a myth in our culture, and it's the myth about, like, the instant jackpot. Like, if you put out a good enough show, you know, all it takes is one person to see it, and boom!
Right.
You got your deals, and you got your man. But that's not how the world works.
No.
At least not right now.
No, I don't think, again, it goes back to, it's just like, I think people, and I try to do this for myself, like, find something that makes you happy, and find something that you can...
And share it with people, if you can.
And that's, sharing is a big part of it, because, like, at the end of it, I don't think any of us really should strive to do anything just solely for themselves. I don't think you'll get too much gratification, even though it may be instant, or it might make you feel good, but it's not long-lasting, and... For the times that I can recollect in my life when I was happy and I was sharing it with other people, that happiness was amplified, and it was just so much more than when it was just like by myself, whatever the case may be, doing whatever. It could just be having a bite to eat by yourself, or attending a party by yourself, or throwing a party and including other people in it.
Exactly.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, totally. The metaphor that, as you were talking, the metaphor that came to mind for me was food. Like, making dinner for yourself, that feels pretty good. Making dinner for yourself and other people, that feels nice.
It does. That's so... Man, I mean, sharing's caring. Like, and that's what we need. I think this was a time to remind us that the world needs more love. Yeah. Honestly, I know this... It doesn't even sound cheesy the more I say it, just like it's one of the truths that we do need to understand. Like, how do you combat nonsense? And it's with love and patience, and because nobody's perfect. Nobody's got it down. We're all in this together, and I don't think it's just one person or even one ideal. I think we all collectively got to get together and stop scapegoating things and people. Because that's the easy way. It's so easy. It's the easy answer. It's the quick fix.
It's the way we've seen since we've been around, I think. There's always, like, the idea of pointing the finger, like, climate change because those jerks don't recycle.
Right.
Or, there's a financial crash because those people got greedy.
Correct.
And they're all separate. They're not
Right.
connected
They're-
to me.
no, it's those
I'm
people.
good, they're bad.
Right.
It's like, well, how does that work? Like, because when those greedy guys were making mortgage money, that money was cascading into the system.
Correct.
Why do you think Starbucks appeared everywhere? Why do you think
Man.
cocaine was more in the streets? Like, there are these knock-on effects that aren't connected, or that are connected, but not in an obvious way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to try to shunt the responsibility outwards
Right.
and not take any of it on.
Right. That's problematic.
Yeah,
That's problematic.
it doesn't seem like the right way forward to me.
No. Because you're not really, that's that isolation of an us versus them, that separation between it, like you said, you don't even consider them, like you really believe that you're not participating in this dirty game.
Yeah,
You're
it's
just
all the
saying,
bad
it's all-
guys. Yeah, I'm good, and I read the right things, and I have the right opinions, but they're
Right,
bad.
I've never made any mistakes. It's all, and it's so easy to just lose humanity in that and like dehumanize people.
Yeah,
basically,
totally,
to
like
make
the othering of-
the othering, right?
Totally.
But I think this is a great time to like really, again, go skirt, just do that U-turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
that U-turn. This is the time I think we can actually like take action. And I've talked about that. Maybe one of the and I like to find the silver lining in things, and like technology. Maybe a portion of that is I'm trying to figure things out like everybody else out there. And it's like maybe a portion of that has to do with just like gaining more honesty in society. If people were just more honest with their intents, with their thoughts.
Yeah.
But if we want that from people, and whether it's going to be like now we hear talks about like artificial intelligence or things like Neuralink, you know, getting embedded within our biology and potentially removing the need, I guess, to communicate via words and speech, which is bonkers. Weird, but one of the goals for one of the, I guess, thoughts behind that is to maybe perhaps gain more access to truth or people's intentions, so that we go. That's the, I guess, positive spin on the thing. If you want to now.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting way to look at it. I hadn't thought of it.
But
that way.
if that wants to be achieved, but we still like whether it's done via technology or just like people becoming more maybe self-aware and more honest. We got to be ready to hear people's truths as well, because why do people lie? Why do people fib? Or why do people tiptoe or pussyfoot around the truth sometimes? It's perhaps because of repercussions on the way that we've, I guess, reacted in the past. Maybe that's everything needs to be considered. I mean, whether again it's achieved through technology or just people like realizing, no, this is the time to evolve as a species and step up our game.
No, I think you're right. Truth is like one of the biggest, or the most stable commodity that we're hopefully all reinvesting in these days.
100%. That's.
I hope.
I hope too, and I think there are a lot of people that uphold those values as well. A lot of people do still. I see it. I see it. It's just I think a lot of time, we gotta learn to, I guess, and it goes with myself, and I'm hoping that maybe some of it resonates. But we gotta take the time to put in the hard work to not look for that easy answer or instant. I found the source. This is it. Here's the answer, because like a lot of the things that we're questioning don't have quick answers. You're not gonna get it in form of a tweet, perhaps, or
no, that's right. You're not gonna read 140 characters that suddenly change,
solve our issues. Like that's impossible. Like that's just gonna lead, and it has led to a lot of miscommunication. A lot of
and I think that miscommunication is profitable to the platform.
Hondo.
Right? Because like you all out there know this, but
that's right.
If you're
smart,
if you're angry, you click more, or if you're triggered, you click more.
This guy.
Yeah, it's same. And if you click more, you're making the machine that you're working on, you're making it run faster, and you're making money come out of it faster for whoever owns it.
It's true.
So there's an incentive built into the system to get us all riled up and to get us at each other's throats. because then we're making more waves
Right.
in that area, whatever,
Right.
and then it's generating more money and more data.
More data and more money, but like, and that's the problem. Sometimes we want to be creating, we want to be producing money and goods and services,
Sure. Yeah.
but sometimes again it's just we want to get it very quickly and rapidly, and that's where it gets tricky. That's where it gets tricky, because you'd have huge corporations right now having so much power, and I mean, so many people get their news from Facebook,
from YouTube, from Insta,
Google, and
yeah.
a lot of things are clickbait. A lot of the majority of them are, because that's, again, like you said, it's ad revenues, it's what's making money, how can I essentially gain your attention quickly and sell you something, is what it is.
Yeah.
And
there's a Russian quote that I like. I forget where I heard it, but the quote is, in news there is no truth, in truth there is no news. And you know, you make of that what you will, but I think that's kind of a cool one.
that is a cool one.
Makes me think. And truth isn't currently part of that system, because it's not about telling the truth to generate whatever money, attention, whatever. It's about just generating the money, attention, whatever.
Correct.
Drama is often the most reliable generator. So like a YouTube drama or an Instagram drama. These things keep the platform going.
Anything that's like maybe got like a beef motif behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I can't think of a better pun. That's really good.
You know, it's interesting, because news is supposed to be just objective, but it's been mixed so much with entertainment, and like here's the thing, whenever like I've tried to at least, and I know we're all hypocritical to a degree, like I know I'm hypocritical to one of the things that I've tried to maintain with this show and with the audience, hopefully, and it resonates with everybody, is like I don't want to label myself anything. I don't want to come here with any sort of like agendas that I know anything for certain or fact. The only thing that I want to be doing is maybe cracking a few jokes, attempting to crack a few jokes, ask a bunch of questions, and hopefully just add to something positive in this universe, or something that we're all a collective, that we're all a part of. And that's the thing. I think news, if you're telling people that you're the news, you should be coming in with objective facts. If you want to be doing anything else, then you should be maybe putting it under some sort of a category, maybe entertainment, so that people like don't mix like. And even when you do that, that's not even to say that's going to be sufficient enough for people to make the right judgment, because how often are people really sitting in tune, taking information, digesting it?
It's true.
For news, I think most people, because they're so busy working, you want to come in, get your facts, and out the door you should be, you know what I mean? Not... I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does, and the thing that you mentioned news being fused with entertainment, I think, well, I can only speak for myself, but like I've been trained to respond to that type of thing. Like I remember really being into, like I loved like The Daily Show, or like John Oliver's show,
right.
like where it's like a smart guy, a guy who's smarter than you, dressed better than you, telling you opinions in a funny way that you can maybe take and then try at a dinner party.
Right.
And then you're the smart guy in the room. And like, I think that template or archetype, it doesn't really, I mean, we're seeing that it doesn't really work, because it's not necessarily truthful.
Right.
I mean, if you asked John Oliver or Jon Stewart or whoever, or Trevor Noah, what they're doing, they would probably tell you, like, we're speaking truth to power.
Correct.
We're satirizing, and we're saying the emperor has no clothes. I don't think that's what they're doing.
I don't necessarily feel that way all the time either, and it's challenging, because like you said, sometimes you grow up with certain people that, especially like when you're younger, right, you maybe don't have those tools in your tool belt to be able to correctly assess what's what.
Yeah, you're just looking for someone cool to emulate so that you can be cool.
Right.
Like,
You
that's the
learn from
simplest.
imitation. I know that's
Yeah,
like I know
yeah,
part of my
yeah.
learning process has always been like trial and error, like do things and
Me too, and by imitating too,
Right,
like
by
show me,
imitating.
right? And then I'll copy it, and oh, I didn't do it right, show me again,
Right.
kind of thing.
100%. But that's the thing. It's good to question media and every friend. That's why I've like mentioned from like question this shit that you see right here too. Always like question it, like laugh at it and shit. But it's like, but anything you see from like a mass media corporation, you should be questioned with.
There's a lot of money involved.
Yeah, so don't be just like,
Yeah.
that's the thing, every time I see these folks get on and it's like, you're just, it feels to me as if they're adding more to the tearing of the fabric of society. You're adding more to the beliefs that people are actually different. You're adding to the people that there
Yeah.
should be more of a divide. That look at this group
Yeah, it
acting
reinforces.
wild and out. Look at this
Yeah.
group being the bad guys. If
Yeah.
it wasn't for these bad
And
guys.
it's the us and them again, right? It's like, haha, we're so good, but they're idiots. Like,
And how do you battle that? How do you battle that? And I think the biggest thing that is just like it's, you can't not be participating because that's not
True.
an option.
true.
That's not an. I mean, I think I did that for a majority of my life. I was aware of certain things and I wanted to perhaps be involved, but didn't know how.
Yeah.
Didn't feel. Sometimes I felt ashamed to, because even if I wanted to participate in a way, I'd be like, oh, well, it's the old saying, maybe if you wrestle with pigs, you're gonna get some dirt on you. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, I don't want to get dirt on me, but.
Yeah.
At one point, you gotta, when you step into that adult world and you now are responsible for the rhetoric, the discourse, the laws, the attitudes, the everything, everywhere you're a part of that. I don't have anybody necessarily like, I'm an adult, you're an adult, but when you're a kid, you look up to people, you're like, man, I wish this could change, and if it didn't, you're like, man, I lost hope, or like, or,
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
That's good.
totally, and that's been part of like my journey, and perhaps yours too, is like getting older and realizing like, oh shit, I'm the adult now.
Right. So we can make a change.
Yeah, we can make a change, and you know, the old way of like spectating and hoping for change, that's not gonna do anything.
No.
That's part of being a consumer, right? Because
Right.
then you're just being sold a viewpoint.
100%.
Right? Like, oh, you're scared of climate change? Okay, we'll sell you the viewpoint. Oh, you think climate change is fake? Oh, we'll sell you this other viewpoint. And meanwhile, there's still pollution. Like, the pollution's not getting fixed. If anything, there's more happening because you're selling to consumers on either side. I don't know.
We get caught up in the drama. We get
Yeah.
caught up in the small little details. We get triggered, and that's the thing. Humans, we gotta realize that we're very susceptible to suggestion. That we're very susceptible to repetitive ideas. We're very susceptible to a lot of times we're acting really on our subconscious level. We've
Totally.
consumed so much
Totally.
info, and we're just like, I know I'm like that. I
Yeah,
know
no,
a lot,
same.
a lot of time I'm on autopilot. Like
Yeah.
I like to think I'm self-aware and all that, but it's not 100%. It's not. It's in bits and moments.
And there are times when I'm seeking to be on autopilot.
Right.
Like
Yes,
when I'm in my
absolutely.
apartment and I'm like, okay, it's time to do dishes. I need a podcast.
Right.
So that they can think for me
Something.
while I do the menial task, right? Like they become the voice in my head instead of whatever internal dialogue of like, you know, ooh, whatever. No, just put the podcast on. That's the soundtrack.
That's
But you know, if you're constantly living through other people's opinions, I don't know what you get. I don't know what you can call yourself other than I don't know, a quester or a questioner. But
no.
I'm losing my own point.
No, I hear what you're saying. You become, if you don't have your own, like, and it's good to, that's the thing, sometimes we do seek those moments of let somebody else take charge, let somebody else fill in the emptiness or whatever it is, or it's, I think a part of us does, we do need, that's why I'm like, sometimes you do need entertainment. Sometimes I don't think it's
That's true.
feasible or like even healthy for anybody to be constantly thinking about everything in a very I guess focused man. If you're constantly like focused on anything, I think that becomes that's what an addiction is, and and it could be with anything. That's why you gotta, there's pros and cons of everything, and sometimes you need that break to have another voice to fill that background. But now I think we're in that age where we could responsibly pick and choose what we listen to sometimes. And even sometimes, hey man, I put on some shows that I legit just use for shits and giggles. I
For
love
sure.
to just laugh sometimes
Yeah.
and not think about anything.
Yeah, just tune out.
And
or
it's just
whatever.
like, man, these guys or this gal, they're just shooting the shit, and it's folks that I might want to, like, you know, be able to connect with on some level. So it's just
Totally.
like,
Totally.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's other times where I'm like, man, if I need to like buckle down and like find something that's of interest to me, I need to find the source of this thing. Let me put in the work.
Yeah. Dig around. Yeah, I got you. I understand. Yeah, I guess the thing that I'm trying to navigate in my own life is like, how much entertainment is too much entertainment?
Exactly, and
right? Like, maybe that's all of us.
It's all of us, and that's part of it. So we need to realize there's a portion that needs to be a portion of our existence that does seek that satisfaction in just, I guess, knowing that everything's okay. And that's what entertainment is. When you're being entertained, you're really like laying back, you're putting the guards down, you're saying, you know what, let's take a break and everything's okay. But it's good to have a back, because if you're always in that relaxed state of just, let me just be entertained, dude, like, where's the show, where's the dance, where's the lights, where's the smoke?
Yeah.
You're never gonna even like wonder or like want to look behind the curtain to see if is there anything going on back here, or you know what I mean? Like,
what are you up to?
Cool show, but like, what's behind that curtain, dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's true. I like the etymology of the word entertain. I'm gonna butcher it right now because I can't, like, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's related to like trapping something, like to, not, maybe trapping's the wrong word, but like to, when you keep something in a specific, like, to entertain an idea or to entertain a guest, there's a degree of like capture. It's linked to the word fascination as well, like when you fascinate someone.
Absolutely.
Or if you're fascinated on something, it's like you can't help but look at, like you're trapped, or
you're trapped essentially. You're giving your attention, you're putting your focus, giving it to that medium or whatever it is.
Yeah, and
it's true.
Trapped doesn't necessarily have to have a negative connotation.
No,
it just means like you're in that
zone. And you're no longer paying attention to anything else, and that's it could be both positive and negative, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we might need that again, but
for sure
we can't be driving on that all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of our news, and that's why we have the Kardashian clan, like, you know, that's been a part of our lives. You have people like that, and that's fine too, but if that's all you ever consume, for example, and like, you know, and if that's your world and reality, and you think that's the way things work, those are the things that lead us to having issues and problems, I think. And that, you know, when you mix these things, news, truth, and entertainment together, you lose a lot of everything. You no longer know if is it true entertainment? Am I supposed to be laughing right now? Is this supposed to be,
or can I trust where it's coming from?
100%.
Yes, what I'm seeing is happy and great, but what is there abuse going on behind the scenes?
Right.
I'm sure you could list a bunch of producers who have fallen from grace or who've been accused of things. Like, yeah, it's a complex. It blows my mind.
And I think that's where we all kind of find ourselves, in a place of maybe no man's land, but everybody's land, I guess, too, because like we're all in it, right? So it's just really, it's up, the onus is on us now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the onus is on us now to be like, okay, I should be a free person. I should be able to like decide my fate. I should be able to have some say in my destiny and what I do with my time, what I consume, what I put in my body, what I think, all that you should have freedom over. But with that freedom, I think, comes responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm finding myself now. As I'm getting a little bit older, I'm aging, finding myself to want to claim that responsibility, because it feels nice. It feels good to be like, I'm making certain decisions, and there's going to be certain outcomes that I now want to take responsibility. And that way I can just, you know, at least go to bed at night and be like, cool, man, like, you tried a little bit.
Totally.
You know, or feels like that.
Yeah. And returning to the metaphor of food, it's like, if you have a meal after a hard day of work, the food can taste better.
Yes.
Instead of just like, oh, you sit around all day, maybe eating all day, and then you eat more at dinner. Like, that doesn't feel good.
No.
But if there's that, if there's the.
But that's where we are. That's so true.
Yeah, we're in the stage of the Roman Empire where there's so much excess, and not everyone gets the excess.
Correct. Not to be absolutely.
But I think a fair number of people are.
A good portion of us.
Yeah.
Majority of us are even in the worst circumstances, if you're living in North America, places like Canada and the US, you're still got it pretty good compared to
Other places.
sure, which is why I'm very grateful. I'm very again, it's been a weird effing year for everybody, but find that silver lining somewhere, and like that's where I'm trying to be. And it's hard sometimes, but you got to do it. You got to take that initiative and want to. It's like anything else, whether it's our thoughts. The myth is that we don't have control of ourselves. That you can have control. Not to say that all of us are always constantly you shouldn't be robotic, is what I'm trying to say. But it's good to be involved again and participating instead of just being a bystander.
Yeah, to reclaim agency, to use terms like that, and to there was another one that popped into my head. What was it? Reclaim agency, and stop living reactively. Right?
Correct.
Correct. I'm whatever the I'm X therefore Y.
Right.
Or I see X therefore I do Y.
No, it's true.
Breaking that causal link. Yeah, it's pretty heady stuff, pretty fascinating.
It's really cool because honestly, I think we all have so much potential. We all have so much potential.
Yeah, that's true.
And the biggest, one of the messages that I'd like to embed in this project, this show, is that you all out there can achieve whatever you focus on.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you like, whether, again, I've been saying this forever, whether you're in the arts, whether you're a craftsperson, whether you're in the sciences, or you're in law enforcement, or whatever you're doing. I think if you put your energy and focus onto that, and
and time, these things take time.
Hondo.
Right, if you're making a garden and you plant a seed, you don't walk up to the seed the next day and be like, oh, nothing happened.
You're there.
Fuck this garden. No, you gotta water it. You gotta build a fence to keep the rabbits out. Give it there's a process.
There's a loving process that you got to put into that project, and that's what I meant when I said earlier on. Find things that you really are passionate about and genuinely want to put an effort into.
Yeah.
Because we can all pursue things that might give us that instant gratification, and that may be in different forms,
or status or whatever, money.
Exactly. That's pretty much the things that is a job title.
Yeah.
X amount of dollars on your check at the end of the month or whatever.
Imagine trying to be the executive assistant to the director of imagine
oh, shoot me, dude! I can't. I can't. I tried a few years being in that. We've talked about this, but being in a corporate setting and in a business model where everybody's in a suit and a tie and
it's fake.
It's so
getting
fake.
Back to the idea of truth. I mean, that's something that I really resonate, for lack of a better word. It's something that we really vibe on. I think is
100%.
The pursuit of whatever truth is. Trying to what's going on. What's the deal? Whether it's in the context of how a country works or how emotions work or whatever. There's just a curiosity of trying to figure out what is true.
What is truth? What is authentic? What's real? So you can kind of distinguish and be okay, there's a place for everything, but at least can we have a little bit of truth as well in the midst of all this?
Yeah.
And I think we're all part of it. We're all doing it together. It takes everybody.
Yeah, literally.
It takes everybody from even if you don't want to be doing anything. Sometimes I know I was in that stage when I was going through it, maybe going through the corporate world, going through the schooling system, going through different paths, but also I was consuming certain things. But it's good to be mindfully because whatever you give your energy to will grow.
Yeah.
So if you're watching something and you don't like it, then you keep watching it.
Yeah.
It's
hate watching.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, totally. That's something you see it a lot. I've seen it with friends who really like watching those reality shows.
Right.
Where they hate the characters.
I have to enjoy
it.
something. I have to be interested in something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't hate watch.
Yeah.
I could, but I choose not to. That's the thing. It's
totally.
And that's the thing. You have choice. I have choice.
Yeah.
We all have choice. And
exactly.
You can create. You can be observing for a little time because sometimes that's necessary as well.
Yeah.
But
and to question the thing that I think is so important for all of us. It's something I see you do is to challenge the map in your head.
Mm.
So we're all walking through the world, we're all walking through the territory, but the map is not the territory. Like it's like if you look at Google Maps, or any map, it doesn't have to be the Google version, the map is never going to have the same amount of information as the thing that it represents. There's always going to be, you can't fit all the info from the real world into the map.
Correct.
You just put what's relevant. So we all kind of have like a map in our head of like, what is reality? Like, oh, there's good guys and bad guys, and well, I'm a good guy,
right.
or whatever the map is.
It's true.
And
But that's what we do, and we always immediately get very tribal.
Yeah, but I think it's important to challenge the map and to actually explore in real life, and then to cross-reference and to be like, okay, I thought it was like this, but it's actually different.
100%.
So maybe redraw the map or re-examine the map.
Always trying to do that. I think it's because like I never start anything with like telling myself, oh, you know this thing, or like this is even I've not claimed to know much on this show. I don't
He's
know.
like, I'm dumb.
I'm the dumbest dumb ever.
Well,
like,
hey, two dum-dums, that's great.
Like,
that's,
you know what I mean? Like, no, but that's the thing. I think there's a little bit of like, when you do that, I think it's good to do that, because you do stumble upon, not even stumble upon, after being able to go through the things that might be the answer and checking things off, you do come to realize
you see
the truth can be found.
Exactly.
Exactly. But that's the thing, sometimes like I just feel like, why did I step out of the schooling? Why did I not want to pursue schooling for? Why did I not want to pursue more into that? The business world. And I think a lot of it is because like I don't like it's a shame that we get rid of the notion of questioning and like, again, forgiveness and being patient, because like when you're a kid, I think there's a lot of leeway. You can make mistakes to a certain degree. You can ask. There's not really too many dumb questions or like whatever. Everybody's learning, and but as we get older, it's like, make sure you watch what you say. Make sure you know, you don't want to make a fool out of yourself in this meeting. You don't want to. You don't. Want, sometimes I know I've seen people hold back and not say anything, just go with the flow, simply because not that they don't have an answer or whatever, or they don't want to ask a question, because they don't want to be ridiculed. They don't want to be the guy that everybody's talking about at the lunchtime. You know, oh, did you hear Jim said or whatever? Like, what an idiot! And like that happens all in our like. In schooling, and how many times are people demotivated because they get the wrong answer? Like,
Well, I think the flip side of truth is vulnerability.
Yes.
So like being okay with being ridiculed or not being the smartest person in the room, that's a tricky thing. Like not everyone wants to admit that they're not great, because we've been trained through culture and through whatever to have this picture in our head of a boardroom laughing at the ignorant, right? Like there's that common trope.
And it's represented everywhere, that's the thing. It's fed to us in sitcoms and TV shows and reality. There's
advertisements, whatever.
And characters, like caricatures, really. You see these like repetitive characters, and and it's just like, and it keeps being pumped out through this massive and it's just like this. You watch these shows, and I'm not even gonna name them because there's so many of them that you could just be like, oh, this is like a replica of this other show like around 15, 20 years ago, still perpetuating these caricatures of what people are. There's supposed to be that role of the dumb-witted husband who's unattentive to the, to the wife, and there's the smart wife, and then there's always a slob at work, and then there's the kid that's, and it's like, you gotta find who you identify with, and where's my role?
Pick your archetype, even though they're like really like one-dimensional archetypes.
Nobody thinks of it. They're so unreal. It's so unreal. It's like.
Well, and that's the truth. Like in a real story, like in a true story, people's archetypes are so much more complex.
Oh my God!
Like the king can also be the thief instead of like so
100%.
Yeah,
we're very complex creatures. We're very complex beings, and we've all got so many wonderful things to offer. And I think a lot of time the only thing stopping us again is that patience and that wanting to give love, because it takes time to get to know people. It takes time to get to know character. It's easy to get to know a caricature.
Exactly.
It's easy to remember a funny mustache and a sunglasses or what have you, or that guy or whatever.
No, totally.
But to be like, what's this person really like?
Yeah.
Do you really know them? Like, what's this character really like? What's this cat all about? What makes them tick? What makes them happy? What motivates them? What gets them depressed? What gets them sad? Have they gone? These are the things that, and there's so many layers, and it's like, do you want to sit down and peel back the layers of the onion, and like some of it may be sweet, some of it maybe, you know, it makes you maybe shed a few tears or whatever
Totally.
it is.
And I think the willingness to peel back the onion of another is reflective of your willingness to peel back your own onion. So if you're not a deeply reflective person in your own stuff, then you're not going to look at the world that way. Because you'll be like, I'm simple, I recycle, and I don't vote against the environment, whatever. I'm sorry to use climate change as a constant thing, because it shouldn't be made fun of. Like,
no, but whatever.
Loving the world's good.
Absolutely.
Like, I love the world, we should think sustainably and all that stuff.
100%, we only got one, but...
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I feel you, dude. I feel what you're saying. It's,
So, yeah.
all in all, like, I think we're on the right path. I have a lot of optimism.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. I think people can now choose, because this was all before, like, I think with the whole, like, medium of, like, you know, we went from just, like, printing to then, like, TV. It's been, but now it's accelerated. Now everybody has access. You can create your own
It's
stuff.
way more bi-directional, right?
Yeah.
Like, even with the printing press back, was it 1400s with Gutenberg?
I don't know.
Well, in the year 1400.
This guy doesn't know anything right here. Well, don't double check with me.
Allow me to share. No, I don't really know. So whenever the printing press was invented, those things were big and expensive.
Hell yeah.
So if you wanted to make a book, you had to have capital or access to whatever. The
resources. It's true. It's a significant point, though. It wasn't like that. Like you can just now you could.
I mean, yeah, it's gotten to the point where if you know someone, like you can get a phone for free. Like hear me out. Like, if like your aunt, if your aunt's like, yeah, I just got a new phone. Here, have my old one.
Right.
Like that. And maybe not everyone has an aunt, so maybe that's not a fair.
Hey man,
these things happen. Is
these
what I'm
things
saying.
Absolutely, it's a part of life, and
that there's
use
so
your
many,
imagination.
Yeah, and that there are so many of these devices now that they've taken on almost.
We're good. Okay. The GoPro just started to record on its own in the background.
All right. What's up, GoPro? Yeah, so again, these devices, there are so many of them, and they get they're considered so disposable in many ways that if you've got like a keen eye, you can pick up tech for pretty cheap or free, and then make stuff, and that's pretty new. It's very in this form.
It's incredible that we have that. It's access, and again, to your point, yes, not everybody has the same. But like, come on, guys, you're smarter than that out there. They know.
I mean, if you have a phone to watch this on,
yeah, man,
then you have the ability to do whatever this is.
Exactly. So think outside the box and take initiative.
Yeah.
And
if we can do it, you can do it. That's the whole point of this. Like.
Thank you. That's
make your own shit.
Saying this shit from the beginning, dog. Like, everybody, you don't have to be just passive consumers out there. You can take control, and if you're unhappy about what you see on the media,
make a different one.
Make a card to play, dude. That's what it is. It's like, because that's the thing. A lot of times I think people stop self-awareness and be like, I can distinguish what's wrong in the media. I'm like, did you hear what this guy said? Oh man, this guy said, well, okay.
Canceled.
Well, yeah, like, how many times are you gonna repeat that? And we love the same story, just like, again, because it sells with a name or a rhetoric.
Yeah.
Whether you're pumping it up or dumping it, it's just like, and it becomes like a trigger again. So it's like, man, you can make your own decisions. You can think outside the box. You can be as creative as you like,
and tell different stories.
Anything else, dude. That it's like, honestly, like I know for me as a consumer, as somebody who likes entertainment too and thought-provoking shit as well, I like things that are different. I don't want to tune in and see the same thing over and over. I'm like, how long have we seen like the same sitcoms?
Yeah,
all the time. So
totally.
it's like, come on, people are smarter than that. People are like, you see that and you reflect on that. And you think that's the norm, so you start acting like that. All of a sudden, a few years goes by, you catch yourself playing the role of that unattentive husband, or that wife who's always the know-it-all, or that that slob at work. Or
and that's part of the MK Ultra or whatever, the brainwashing. Whether it's on purpose or by accident, these things happen.
It's happening all the time. We are constantly being manipulated to not like, there is a little bit of it, I guess it's definitely got its negative aspect. I don't ever want to sound cynical about anything, you know, that's why I'm always optimistic.
Sure.
There's definitely, I think, a portion of people that just legitimately want to make business and money and
For sure, yeah. I'm not saying it's a big conspiracy.
No. But no, you're right. There is
just
definitely shit like that. There is definitely MK Ultra programming. There's definitely mass media manipulation through the media.
Yeah.
People are way more susceptible than they know and realize, and I just want people to tap into that, so that, you know, it starts with kids. Like, why are we handing phones to kids from such a young age? Should there not be an alternative phone with maybe just a few essential things that they might be able to use, like a calculator or access to a safer internet where it's not like because a click of a button, you might end up on a page that's going to lead you down a rabbit hole you don't want to go, you know, searching for. It's
100%. It's I agree with you. It's so new that it's hard to know what the effects will be in 20 years.
The thing that I'd like us to do is be more assertive, be more, again, like I've talked, be a little bit more on top of these things, so that we're not just, because we're pumping technology out there like, you know, left, right, and center, and it's so hard to keep up with. And at one point, every generation you start to is even like, I'm not that tech savvy, but I think I've still, you know, kept up with most of what's relevant, or at least what I think is relevant. But there's still certain things that I'm not even like, for example, like TikTok is just too much, too fast, too little, like I don't know, I can't connect with that form of media. It's just like, it feels like I'm having a seizure, dude.
Totally.
Well, I'm like, get it out of my face, what's going on here? I try to like, because I do, like, there's a curiosity portion of my personality that I like to just check things. I checked it out for like half a day and like immediately delete it. I can't.
Yeah. The thing that I've, TikTok fascinates me, specifically because of one story. I was speaking to my sister, who, she and her friend, they spent a lot of time on TikTok, doing the dances, all the stuff. And she was telling me that both she and her friend were having dreams about doing the dances and like having TikTok dreams.
Good Lord.
No, but like, this is, again, this speaks to programming, and this speaks to
100%,
like,
and these things are not just built for your entertainment and...
Exactly.
Oh, it's just a fun little app today. It's just a little,
look, it's a hot person.
Yeah.
Ooh, follow them. Like, maybe something else is up.
Maybe something else is up. Maybe something else is up, dude.
And like, with all of these platforms, including the Instagram and the YouTube,
that's why
we're training AI right now.
That's correct.
Like, this speech is being transcribed to generate captions, and if the captions aren't presented to the audience, the captions are at least presented to the back end so that they can kind of guess what the show is about.
Correct.
So like checking word frequency, checking sentiment and tone. So are they pro this? Are they anti that? Like, it's
metadata. It's taking in everything, and like what we see, I think, is just a little top portion of the ice cap, basically, and everything else is just at the 90% or even more of it is just down below. Harvesting what's going to be sold to us, and
that's the really crazy thing, is that like each of us has an iceberg that's kind of in storage. So there's a Dylan iceberg, there's a Sohrab iceberg. Like, how do I mean? Like, imagine I'm a tech company and I want to create a profile for every consumer, but in order to have a good profile for them, I want the profile to kind of think and respond like that person.
100%.
And the way that you set that up is by taking all of the data that the person generates.
Correct.
We're feeding it into a neural network and building some sort of machine learning thing around it, but doing it on a micro scale. So it's not like you have one AI that understands everyone.
Right.
It's rather you have like literally billions of little AIs that are then working together. And then, you know, you can change the programming and update and whatever. But like that, it's not one massive thing that's like figuring out what to show you and what to show me and what to show the person down the street. It's more like it's bottom up, it's not top down. Dude, this is so dumb. I just drank a bunch of coffee Is it possible? I know. Okay.
You know what, boys and girls?
How long are we at?
We are at 54 minutes, honestly.
Oh, really? That went by so quick.
That went by really quick, brother.
Holy moly!
Let's pause it here if that's cool.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. Thank you again, brother. It's
Thank you for inviting me into your home, and if you made it this far, thanks for inviting us into your whatever
Absolutely.
you got going on.
It's been a pleasant journey for all of us. Like, I know, like, I had a lot of fun today. I hope you did too.
Totally.
And I hope you guys had a lot of fun. There's more stuff cooking, boys and girls. One step at a time. One step at a time. It's a collective. I love you guys. I'll see you guys probably on Friday, and definitely for the Patreon page on Saturday, boys and girls. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sending you all lots of positive vibes and energy. Keep going after it, big and strong.
Yeah.
We'll do it together. See you guys very soon. Peace out, everyone.